Hello, welcome to Kindred Women. Amanda here, and I have with me Shauna. And we're just going to get to know a little bit about Shauna and just how God's shown up in her life.
Mm-hmm.
So she will talk a little bit about this, but basically she's going to share how God has kind of sent her little love notes throughout her life. And so why don't you go ahead and kind of share just how that started?
Well, first I kind of want to say something.
Yes.
I was like really excited when you reached out to me about this, but then as time has gone on, I feel like I've kind of become like really nervous about it, and I'm just like kind of thinking like, oh, like all these people out here are gonna be looking at me,
right? Yeah.
And I've been like, oh, I've never been a good public speaker, so on the way here, I've prayed about it for like days, like calm my anxiety. And on the way here, I had this like light bulb moment, like this has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with God. And like, really, I mean, I'm still nervous, like, but this has nothing to do with me,
right.
And I think so often we don't follow through with something that we have on our heart because we don't feel adequate enough. And it's not about us at the end of the day, it's about sharing God and with people and advancing His kingdom. And so I don't know, I had to share that first because I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like that's just how we often feel as humans, we don't feel good enough, and we're worried about all of the people out there who are judging us and, for sharing our hearts. So anyway. I had to
thank you for sharing.
So our little love notes, my friend Bree and I started this. To be honest with you, I actually didn't really know how we started it. My aunt started finding hearts everywhere. But then Bree and I sort of talked about it, and she kind of told me that we thought that was super cool, and then we started finding hearts everywhere. Her husband is in the military. She doesn't live here, but she did. And we kind of just started finding love notes everywhere. And hearts everywhere. And we just started calling them God's love notes. And it's been a really cool thing. And I brought some visuals. Like there's little like hearts everywhere. Like I found these like on hikes and things.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. So where did you find? Is that like a piece of driftwood or something?
This is a piece of like a sequoia tree from Sequoia National Park.
What?
It's like an actual tree part.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
So we just find them everywhere in the form of lots of different things. I mean, paint, something weird on the floor or whatever.
Food.
Rocks,
okay,
things like that.
So do you remember maybe like some of the first ones that you ever found?
So I kind of don't. I feel like that's kind of how my life goes. Like I don't really remember
that's okay.
significant moments of things. Like it's just like I'm just going through life and things happen. I do remember one specific love note that really was just like, whoa. I had found a leaf in the parking lot of a grocery store, and it had like this little speck on it, and I thought it was really cool, and so I put it in my Bible. When I got back in the car, I carried it through the store, and I put it back in my Bible, and I zipped up my Bible case, and I left it there in my truck. Never took it back out, and I never unzipped it. Nothing. And then one night I drove home from work, and I had gotten a bracelet in the mail, and it said, "Be still and know." And that had just come. I went inside to start dinner, and I went to the bathroom, and I came out, and there was a fire in my house.
Oh my gosh.
It was terrifying. The fire department had to come. Like everything was okay. I lived by myself. Whatever, it was fine. But then I obviously couldn't sleep there, and I went back the next morning to like kind of make the insurance claim and things like that. And I was sitting in my truck, and I looked down in the grass, and there was a leaf love note, kind of like very similar to the one that I had found. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I picked it up, and I was like, wait, what? And I opened my Bible, and I shook my Bible, and it was not in there.
Oh,
at
my
all.
goodness.
And I took a picture of it, because I always take pictures of them. And I realized like it had these same exact like really very specific markings on it, and that was just kind of mind-blowing to me. Like I feel like so often I don't know why I don't remember like who God is sometimes, like you know, like and that He's just kind of here for us all the time, and or why I get kind of down about something or whatever, because I know ultimately everything has like I have had monumental moments in my life, and I'm like, why are you even worried about this? Like, look how that turned out. That was a really cool moment of a love note. So Brie and I, we decided to kind of put it into the world.
So they created an Instagram account.
Yep, we have an Instagram account. It's called God's Love Notes, and we encourage people to send pictures of hearts that they have found, or share stories that you know what that heart means to them. So it's just been really, really cool.
Yeah, that is really cool.
Yeah.
So do you feel like when you get them, whenever you notice them, whenever you're out, do you feel like it's times where you're going through a trial, or is it kind of just any time?
Not always. I feel like sometimes, you know, like that whole fire.
Yeah.
But I just found one last night on the street, you know? So I think that they come to us sometimes like in moments of like despair, and but then I think that sometimes they just come.
Yeah.
And they're just like little like, oh.
That's what I was going to say, like a little reminder of just God's love and how much He loves us.
Yeah.
So
it's so cool.
My mom has actually experienced the hearts, the love notes, and I haven't. Well, actually, I had a leaf, and I'll have to post it on our Instagram account, and then maybe you can even tag us or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's I found a leaf in the fall. It was probably 2 or 3 years ago, and it was a pretty big leaf, and then there was a little teeny tiny little baby heart, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cute. So I kept it for a while, and then it's gone now. But God is just planting those little pieces of reminders of His love for us.
Well, yeah, and they don't always have to be a heart, you know. I mean, it could just be like a sunny day, or you know, something small. I don't know. I mean, I think that these hearts are super cool, but I think they're also very personal to each person that finds one. And I don't think that God speaks to everyone the same.
Right.
These for me are just more. I don't necessarily pray to God for Him to answer me with something, and then I find a heart, and I'm like, oh, there it is, you know. But I feel like they're just kind of like, hey, I'm here, you know. I'm here with you. I'm never far away.
I love that.
So yeah, I feel like for me that's what they kind of are, and I think for Brie, I mean, we've both had, you know, our individual struggles in life, and we've obviously have found them during those moments as well, but we've also just kind of found them cooking dinner or making breakfast. I mean, it was really cool. One morning we both made an egg, and they were both hearts.
Oh my goodness!
In the same morning.
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, they're just, you know, they're just little reminders. I think.
Well, and I love that it's between the two of you too, you know, and that you've included other women, so that it was this moment between the two of you, and it can still be that personal thing, but now you've enveloped and included other people. So I love that too, where now other women can also start finding those and seeing those in their lives. Well,
and two, you know, people who aren't even really believers are sending us hearts that they have found. So for me, like, I think it's really cool for obviously a Christian to find one and, you know, send one to me. But I think in the moments when I get a picture from someone who's not really a Christ follower, that is like huge for me. Because not only are we putting it out there, but like people are seeing it, you know? And I think a lot of times people, I know for me, will send them to me and be like, oh, here's a love note. And I'm like, yeah, but that love note was for you. You know, that love note has nothing to do with me. You're the one that found it.
Right.
So I think that that's really cool.
Yeah,
you know?
I do too. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So my mom, I had kind of talked a little bit about, she has had hearts, you know, that she will find sometimes. and there's been specific struggles that, you know, it's her story, so I'm not going to be sharing about her story, but the verse that there's a Bible verse that she has found that God really spoke to her whenever she would find a heart. And it's Ezekiel 36:26. And it says, I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you. I will remove from you your heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh. And for her, it's more of a symbolism of, you know, if she's been going through something, like God's giving her this. And, you know, she's found hearts on the, like, shells on the beach, and
they're everywhere.
It's just so amazing. I've always found that story, and that's why I think your story, it just drew me, because I knew the story behind with my mom and how impactful that was. And actually, she now has her, I believe I don't think it's a stone. I think maybe it's considered a stone, but I don't know if it's a shell. I think it's a shell. But anyway, she has my dad's wedding band soldered around it in the shape of the heart, and then she wears it as a necklace. And I just love that. Like, it's really cool, because she had her little love note from God, and then now she wears it, and it's almost a permanent reminder whenever she wears it.
Right.
So I love that.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Lots of people find hearts. Like, Brie and I did not make this up.
Right.
Like, we are not the originators of the love note. God is, obviously, but, you know, we just decided to kind of share it.
So. and it's awesome. So what do you feel like you've learned through God sending you these little love notes?
I feel like, again, I just feel like he is just telling me that he's here. He's, like, alongside me in life, and the yuck, and the mess, and the, you know, but also in the really good. So I feel like that's just kind of something, I don't know if it's a lesson really, but I just feel like that is just, like, his way of saying, hey, you know, I'm here. And, you know, sometimes they mean something way deeper, you know, to me, because I'm a pretty deep thinker, and so I'm like, oh man, that's probably, like, why, you know. But then sometimes I'm like, thank you, you know. I feel like that's probably just, like, what I've learned. I feel like a lot of times in life, especially in moments of trial, like, we sometimes feel alone, and we're not. Even if you feel alone on this earth, we are not alone. And so I just kind of feel like that's kind of, like, what I've learned is he's here, you know? And
and I think just because he loves us so much that it's just, even like you said, it doesn't have to come in the form of a heart, but in the way that he has shown you, it has. And it absolutely can be a sunrise or a sunset or a beautiful sunny day when it's just been dreary out for the last week, you know?
Or you just got pregnant and you've been trying for 5 years, or, you know, someone that you love overcame cancer. Being able to pay your bills, or being able to just wake up every day and breathe, you know? I feel like that is, like, I feel like in life we don't remember to just sit and, like, think about how blessed we are. We take things for granted, and I think that, you know, even with, like, these little love notes, I feel like it's just, like, even a sliver of time where I get to just think, like, you know, like, I'm super, super blessed in this life, and I feel like it kind of creates a little bit of a community as well. I mean, I have people saying all the time, like, oh my gosh, I found a love note, you know, or whatever, and sending me a love note. So it's just kind of cool, you know?
It is. So I feel like we've kind of probably covered this, but would you say for other people that basically just to continue living their life, but just kind of pausing and really taking in, and then that's where they're going to probably find a love note, whether it's a heart or whatever?
So honestly, I feel like finding a love note is very unintentional. It's very, I mean, I don't personally look for them at all. I never have. Like, I don't think people actually, like, look for them. I think that people are aware of them just because of, you know, I don't want to say that we've put it out in the world,
right,
but you know,
it's there.
I think finding them is kind of unintentional. You know, it's not something that we're like, oh,
yeah, and you're gonna go out the next day and be like,
where is it?
Where's my heart, God?
Right. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, some people may never find one ever. Like, I'm sorry, but I have plenty if you need them.
No, I love that. I love that. No, I agree. I think it is definitely an intentional thing that God. That's why it's a God love note, not like an Amanda note where I just go and find something.
And it kind of goes back to what I said in the very beginning. Like, this has nothing to do with me, you know, and it has everything to do with God. And I feel like we can't force things in life. I think when God is ready for you to have those things, He will give them to you. And I think as a human, it's really, really, really hard to like wait for those things and just be like, oh, why?
Right. So good.
Thank you.
And I love it. I love.
Me too. Me too.
So it is just really exciting. And so if you do happen to, you know, find a heart where God just, you know, shows that to you, you can send that to God's Love Notes on Instagram.
Yep.
And, you know, she could put it in the story or whatever and just let people know. So
yeah, but Bree and I run it. My best friend and I. Just send us a little message. We'll probably ask you for your story or what that heart meant to you. It doesn't need to be some magnificent
story
meaning behind it or anything like that. I mean, it could just be like, hey, you know, this love note meant He just loves me today, and that's it, you know.
Why don't you share the one that somebody just shared the other day about it was their baby?
Oh, Bree,
yeah, was that Bree? Okay.
Bree had a friend who sent her a love note, and it was actually in the shape of a blowout, a little poop.
Yeah.
But isn't that true though? Yes. You know, like motherhood is like draining. I'm not a mom, but I know. Like I have tons of friends who are moms,
and God shows up even on the crappiest
motherhood
day.
Is very exhausting and it's the hardest job you will ever have, and to all you moms out there. And you know, I feel like it can get very like mundane, and you're just like trudging through life, you know, and drowning in poop basically and like bodily fluids, and but then God was like, hey, I'm gonna send you a little love note.
I'm here. I'm still here.
You're doing an amazing job.
Yeah, that's good.
It might not be a glorious, beautiful, smell good part, but it was still like a reminder.
Yeah, that was really good.
You know, just God being like, hey, I'm here in this situation. You're doing such a good job, or whatever, however she felt about it.
Yeah, I love that.
I thought it was really cool. It actually made me cry. I was like, whoa! Yeah.
That's
some of them do make me emotional, you know?
Because you know where it's from. Like, you know that it's from God.
Right. And I love just hearing people's stories, you know? I think that's something that we all forget is like we're all humans and we all have feelings and we all have things that we're going through, and I think that we all are more relatable than not, probably. And I think that that's when it's really cool to kind of share someone's little story about why they have that love note or what that love note meant to them. So
that's good. Well, thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you for
and thanks for
me.
watching. Sometimes I just ask, you know, and then if somebody says no, then they just say no.
Well, I almost did, but you know what? It has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with God.
That's right.
Yeah.
So thank you for watching, and go ahead and follow her on Instagram, and it's God's Love Notes, and you will not be disappointed. So we will see you guys next time.
I promise I'm a way better writer, and so is Bree, than I am a speaker.
You did great. All right, bye guys.